So guys, recently I talked about my top 6 prediction. If you didn't see the video, go and check it out. It's on my channel. I will put the link in the description. And today I want to talk about the places from 7 to 15. So basically from all the rest, okay? Because even there, out of the top 6, they are great athletes. Don't forget that they are great athletes out of the top 6. So it doesn't mean when an athlete will place 10th that he's bad or so. This year's roster is very strong, and keep in mind that it's even it's strong. Also, Deniz and Kyrie won't even compete. So if you didn't know it, now you know. Neither Kai or Deniz will compete. Deniz is injured. You maybe saw the Iron Fire documentary. So they won't. Okay, but Cedric Macmillan will compete. Last year didn't compete. He was out of the contest, and many more. And so now I will tell you my rest predictions. I said that I think Ruli Winkler will do the 7th place, but he could place anywhere from top 4 to 7. So right now I have him in my 7th place, and I'm, with Ruli, I'm keen on seeing what he will bring on stage, because of course he has the mass, especially in the upper body, but I want to see a great conditioning of him. We will see if it happens. A great, performance with having his gut under control, and we will see. So, 7th place would be great, but he could place higher. The potential is in his own, what he will do. 8th place, I have Cedric Macmillan. The thing with Cedric is that I don't see him conditioned. So I never saw him that great conditioned. I already told it in part 1, but I don't believe that he will have a conditioning that would bring him onto the really top, like 2nd place or top 4 or so. 9th place, I have Victor Martinez. Victor got better and better. He had a lot of obstacles in his career. I will make a video about Victor Martinez, I think, after the Mr. Olympia. Because after the Mr. Olympia, I will talk about lots of topics, lots of bodybuilding topics. So it doesn't mean that, after the Olympia, this channel would be offline or I don't have anything to talk. Right now, I am making some notice on which topics I could talk about, some informative things or entertaining things, surrounding bodybuilding and the whole cult and the whole scene. And if you have something in your mind, then feel free to comment it. So I think Victor will place in the top 10, 9th place. His legs, are still not there, especially after the injury he had, the car crash back then. His legs never were the same, but keep in mind that even in 2007 his legs never were like Ronnie Coleman's or so. So his legs were never his best part of his body. And back then in 2007, a lot of people have him as the real Mr. Olympia, as the uncrowned Mr. Olympia. So he had a lot of up and downs in his career. Probably the athlete with the most up and downs. So we will see what the end result will be. 10th place, William Zbornak. I already told that William is looking great. His frame is packed, but his frame seems to be like a little 212-pound division frame, like Flex Wheeler or David Henry or Kevin English and guys like that. I don't see him in the next 5 years or so. I more and more see him in the 212 rather than the open class. I think there he would have a bigger potential, but last year placed 8 at the Mr. Olympia, and placing 8 at the O, I think you earn more money than placing 2nd at the 212. So right now, during the reign of Flex Lewis, Flex would win against him, I think. So he's probably, doing it strategically. Maybe we will see what will happen, but I still have him in my top 10. Now, what's left? Of course, the other places from 11 to 15. So from 11 to 15, on the 11th spot, I have Dallas McCarver. A lot of people are speculating that Dallas will could even make it in the top 6, but I don't think so. Last year he was big too, but when you see him on stage, it's a whole other story than when you see him, a couple weeks out of the off season or in the gym. There were a lot of gym Mr. Olympia, even back then, who never made it far at the contest itself, because the only important thing is how you look when you are compared to all the other athletes. And like I said, Cutler said that his biggest weakness is his back, and a bodybuilding contest is won by the back and the legs. So it would be, a better place than last year, obviously, because last year placed 13, but I don't see him in the top 6. Maybe if he really brings it on from 7 to 11. So, but right now I have him on 11th place. 12th place, Joshua Leonardowicz. The thing with Joshua is that this is his own debut, so he never competed at all. We never saw him against the top-notch guys. We only saw him against, some top guys too, but not the top guys we have at the O that don't compete at other contests, like Phil Heath himself or Sean Roden himself. You know what I mean? So it will be interesting. I think he will not make the last place. He will not make the top 6 either. He could do anywhere, from 9 to 11, I think. That's my opinion. Or maybe 8 to 11, let's say it that way. So, 13th place. 13th place, I have Nathan D'Asia. I think Nathan needs a lot more mass, but he's looking awesome. He has one of the most pleasing physiques of the Olympia roster, I think, but we are, in the 2000s, and he would place, right away when he would compete at the Lee Haney time, he right away would place very good, I think, but right now the mass is still, not completely dominant, but still dominant. So I think this will be his first Olympia ever, and I think that he could make the 13th place. And for Nathan, I see him anywhere from 11 to 13, something like that. 14th place, Brandon Curry. Brandon Curry was once, seen as the future Mr. Olympia. Then he placed one time at his first O ever, I think 8th place, and the other 2 O's he placed 13th place both. So that's maybe a little side message I want to tell you, because a lot of people right away when they see something interesting or somebody interesting, they directly say, okay, future Mr. Olympia. They expect too much. Always, like, Trey Brewer, or how he was called, Alexei Lezakov, they were all like, you have them in music too, they called, one-hit wonders. So they made something, or they have some pictures around, went viral, that made some buzz, but after that not much more happens, or the athlete can't show the performance the fans expect or want to see. But Brandon has a very aesthetic line, that's clear, but I don't see him having a great conditioning too. I don't see him suffering. I think he said even himself something like that in his interview. He's doing good by promoting shows, and he has some big shows, so I think he's not dependent of those Olympia prize monies, because it's not that high either. When you place 13, it's not much money, and you have tax and things like that. So he has a sponsor too, Skytech. So he's probably doing good. Each his own. So 15th place, I think Max Charles or Steve Kuklo. The thing is, at this Olympia, even the 15th place will probably look good. So it won't be Olympia. It won't be an Olympia where you have athletes that they look like they have nothing to do with Olympia or so. So I think that this year's Olympia will be packed, even though Kai and Deniz won't be there, but all the others seems to will be there. And it will be amazing, I think. So, you know, don't fuck around when somebody's not doing the top 10, because even 11th place will be good this year. So it reminds me a little bit of the times where everybody was a great athlete, and it's good, I think, for bodybuilding having a having a high class roster, and I hope that this year will go into a better direction with more aesthetics, less focusing on mass, more focusing on the presentation, posing, the artistic things, because you have to know that other people that are not that into bodybuilding should, you know, we should make them feeling good when they see it and not disgust with the guts. So they see probably, you know, when they see a guy that has like 3% body fat but has a belly like a 9-month pregnant woman, they are like, what the fuck, and they probably won't get into bodybuilding, right? Or they never want to compete. So we will see. So, and that is why I made my prediction that high with Kevin, because I think Kevin will have his gut under control. He will have a slim waist. He will look aesthetic. He will presentate himself very good. I believe in him. He will do the great posing, the artistic things. We will see which song he will use. So it's how it is. At the end, the judges are deciding if, you know, a guy like Big Ramy will be first, or a more aesthetic guy with less mass will be first. We will see it. Full Heath seems to be very confident. He posted something on Instagram, you know, a quote. I will put it in the video. So, you know, subscribe to my channel. I will do the coverage, and I will do my final prediction, and the more, you know, real prediction, the more realistic prediction, after I will see the prejudging on Friday. And another question, like, you know, I live in Germany, and it says 7 p.m. Saturday and Friday PST Pacific time. So is it 4 a.m. in the morning for German guys both days? Is it that way? Because some guys said 1 a.m. but 1 a.m. would be if it would be 7 p.m. Eastern time, but it's Pacific time. So it seems like to be 4 a.m. in the morning, and that's only the start of the contest. And when the men will come, it probably will be 6 a.m. in Germany. If some guy knows it, please tell it. And if they will stream the press conference, I don't know. I don't think they will stream it. It would be great. It would be a nice idea, but some bodybuilding platforms will probably upload it after the press conference was done. So subscribe me on Instagram if you want to have some posts during the day. It's Deniz Lifestyle. Subscribe to my channel. We are keen to see the Olympia. Bye.